It's the Variety Award Circuit podcast, and I'm Clayton Davis. Colin Farrell is on fire. Aside from basking in the glow of receiving his long overdue first Oscar nomination for The Banshees of Inisherin and delivering 4 acclaimed performances in 2022, he's gearing up to reprise his role as Oz, aka the Penguin, for the spin-off television series from Matt Reeves, The Batman, which he'll begin shooting on February 28th. In The Banshees of Inisherin, he plays milk farmer Park, opposite fellow nominee Brendan Gleeson.
Now I'm sitting here next to you, and if you're going back inside, I'm following you inside, and if you're going home, I'm following you there too.
Now, if I've done something to you, just tell me what I've done to you. And if I've said something to you, maybe I said something when I was drunk and I've forgotten it, but I don't think I said something when I was drunk and I've forgotten it. But if I did, then tell me what it was, and I'll say sorry for that too, Colin. With all my heart, I'll say sorry. Just stop running away from me like some fool of a moody schoolchild.
But you didn't say anything to me. You didn't do anything to me.
Well, that's what I was thinking, like.
I just don't like you no more.
You do like me.
I don't.
You liked me yesterday.
Oh, did I? Yeah.
I thought you did.
Distributed by Searchlight Pictures, Banshees was the second most Oscar-nominated film this year, receiving 9 nominations: Best Picture, Director for Martin McDonagh, Actor for Colin Farrell, 2 Supporting Actor nominations for Brendan Gleeson and Barry Keoghan, Supporting Actress for Kerry Condon, Original Screenplay, Film Editing, and Original Score. The movie is also nominated for 10 BAFTAs and 5 Screen Actors Guild Awards, tying for the most in history. We sit down with Farrell to talk about receiving his first Oscar nomination, as well as his bombastic year that included acclaimed performances in After Yang, 13 Lives, and The Batman. We began by talking about how this year and this nomination has felt for him.
Taking it with a pinch of salt. Mm-hmm. Truly. What I mean by that is, it brings up a load of stuff. You know, you find yourself, or I find myself saying how much, look, I've dreamed of Oscars since I was a kid. I mean, and not in relation to, well, it's not even that. It's not in relation to myself, but in relation to, I wonder what it's like. Not, I wonder would I ever, I wonder what it would be like for me. But one of my clearest memories of the Oscar ceremony as a child was seeing Daniel Day-Lewis. I think I was probably about 11 or 12, winning the Oscar for My Left Foot, which I had seen My Left Foot at that stage when I was 11 or 12, and had been so moved by it. And that was maybe 4 years before I ever did my first acting class or even thought of being an actor. So just, you know, I kind of have my own understanding of fame, or the dynamics of fame, why the world leads into fame, how we like putting people on a pedestal. The reverse of that, the shadow side of that, is that we like also tearing people down from pedestals. Then we love seeing a resurgence and all. I kind of have my own personal, from the inside, understanding of all that stuff. And so with that in mind, that's the taking it with a large pinch of salt, but just appreciating it as a moment in time. It'll all be over, as we know, in 6 weeks. Yeah. This will all be done in 6 weeks, and it'll be something that I will just classify as memory. But being in it, I'm experiencing it. I'm feeling like I'm experiencing it with a certain amount of light. Yeah. I'm not feeling too much desperation around it. Yeah. I'm very grateful for the moment.
Enjoying the ride.
I'm very grateful for the moment, because I've been doing films, you know, for 20, 25 years. I've been an actor now. And, you know, I've done enough films, Clayton, that haven't worked. I've done enough films that either didn't find an audience, or found an audience and the audience hated it, or, you know, things that you can really clearly classify as not having worked. And every time I've worked on a film that hasn't worked, in my opinion, hasn't worked, it's not been as the result of a lack of effort or a lack of passion. Every time a filmmaker goes to work, any time a cast and a crew get together, everyone has aspirations. Yeah. Everyone wants it to find an audience. Everyone wants to feel like they're part of something that has a bit of meaning, even if that meaning is just entertaining an audience. And it doesn't always work that way. So at its simplest form, long-winded answer, I'm trying to see if you can ask one question and we can do the whole hour. In its simplest form, to be part of Banshees and have worked with a cast and crew that I really have a very deep affection for, and then now seeing that film go out into the world and find an audience and be received in the way it's been, it's magic, you know. And I mean, the morning of the nominations, Because I have wondered through the years if I was ever in that position where there was a chance of getting a nomination for an Oscar, what would I do? Would I go to bed and wait for the publicist to call at 5 a.m? Would I stay up and watch it? I was like,
wait,
no, I wouldn't.
are you telling me you didn't get up in 2008 for In Bruges? Like, did you?
No, I mean, there's still part of me
Yeah.
that goes, I'm not supposed to be at any of this part.
Yeah,
You know, there's
okay.
still part of me.
Got
I
it.
have this kind of outsider narrative, which is
Yeah,
kind of
okay.
bullshit as well. But this time I thought it was a little bit the night before Christmas, and I thought, what am I going to do? I'll stay up and watch it. My youngest boy was with me. He's so excited about all this.
As you should be.
Yeah, absolutely. And I have to be very careful that I don't spend my time kicking over sandcastles with him and going, look, none of it means anything. I'm trying to strike the chord between we all know what the important things in life, truly in the living of a life are, right? And it's not this. Having said that, it's a lovely moment and I find myself grateful for it. So he went to sleep. I got him up. Kerry lives close to me. Kerry Condon, who plays my sister. I should say I play her brother in the film. She lives close to me. So Kerry texted me and said, what are you going to do? Are you going to watch it? I think I'll go to bed, but I don't know if I'll be able to sleep. And I said, she lives close. I said, well, listen, my 2 sisters, a brother-in-law, Henry's with me. We're all going to get up and watch it. Just come around. So 5 o'clock in the morning, knock on the door. I opened the door. Kerry was there. Darkness of night.
Pajamas or just she
clothes?
Okay.
No. She was denim on denim. I don't know why that's close, but it felt kind of close. Something very, very cozy about it. She was denim on denim, and she came in, and the kettle went on. I made 4 cups of tea. I had a box of Ferrero Rocher in the pantry. When the Ferrero Rocher comes out, you know it's a serious occasion. Yep. So the Ferrero Rocher came out, and we watched it, and she was first up, I think. It was very sweet. And we all had high fives. And then I saw Paul Mescal get in, which I was delighted for. And then I saw Quiet Girl get in, which I was thrilled for.
Yeah.
I mean, and
first Irish film to make the short
first
list.
Irish language film to get an
nominated.
Oscar nomination as Best International Picture was just extraordinary. And then I saw some video footage on Twitter of a bunch of Irish sitting in a cinema. It's called the Stella Cinema in Rathmines, which is a beautiful cinema. Did you see that footage
No,
on
I
Twitter?
didn't.
I'll get it up for you, man.
Yeah, I can watch it.
It's can I show it to you now?
Absolutely.
Let me see. It is so beautiful. Because it was the last of the 5 as well that was mentioned. So you see all these people. Wait till you hear the cheer.
Alphabetical
But
order.
so we all watched it, man, and we had high fives and we had hugs, and then we went back to bed. And it was very sweet. So if we can...
You were able to go back to sleep.
Yeah, I did go back to sleep. Yeah, for an hour, and then I had to get Henry back up for school. But so if we can maintain a sweetness through it all, do you know what I mean? Without being too highbrow or too serious about it, and just enjoy it, you know, for what it is, as I say, a moment in time.
When you heard, while you're pulling that up, when you heard Brendan Gleeson and Barry Keoghan's name, were you...
Thrilled. Thrilled. And I mean,
and
look,
it was both of them. It was, both of them made it.
Yeah, and you may not be surprised because we're aware of all the energy going up to it, right? Yeah. So I'm not going to go here and go, I was totally surprised. Like, that'd be disingenuous, right? And I tried to be as, tried to exercise as little of that as possible.
Yeah.
But you're still shocked.
Yeah.
So, not fully surprised, but still shocked. Shocked to see Brendan's name, shocked to see Barry's name, shocked to see mine, shocked to hear Kerry's. Shocked. Actually, Martin was the only one I wasn't shocked.
Really?
Yeah. Actually, sorry, director, yes, I was. Director, yes, I was. No, director, yes, I was. Because I think what happens with Martin a little bit, you know, Clayton, is that he's such an extraordinary writer.
Yeah.
That people find it hard to look past the pen.
Yeah.
Do you know? And I think he's now, from my money, he's an extraordinary director as well. I mean, he designed every shot, every frame, as directors, of course, always do. But he really was meticulous. He really knew how he wanted the film to look, how he wanted it to feel, and even the design. Carter Burwell's music was so strange. It was so kind of otherworldly. It dropped us into kind of the folklorish, mythological aspect of this film, which is set in a real world, but also heightened, of course. But yeah, so I was shocked when Martin got not the screenplay, but
director.
Yeah. But I think in the same sense as well, this lack of which, look, there can only be 5, and it's not, you know, it's not a science. So there's no, this person should have definitely been in, that person shouldn't ever in any category as far as I'm concerned. But I would have loved Ben Davis to get a nomination. And I think what happened with Ben is a little bit of what I say happens with Martin. The natural world was so prevalent and was so overwhelmingly beautiful that I think people thought that there wasn't much lighting, cinematographical lighting going on, but it was like a Vermeer, some of the stuff interior.
It was interesting. I was having a conversation with someone recently, and it was one of the question marks of award season. How did Ben Davis's cinematography not like catch on. That's like an automatic, like that we have to do.
Yeah, and I think it's because of the beauty of the natural
Yeah.
world, you know, and there was so many kind of extraordinary shots of the vast and yet intimate topography of, check this out, it's so cool.
It was great that it was the last film as well. And they're clapping everyone else. Fair play to them. Is this it? Yeah. Isn't that
That's amazing.
Isn't that so sweet?
Yeah. Oh, that's incredible. Big movie theater.
Huh?
It's a big movie theater.
Yeah, it's a lovely theatre. So that's all family and friends and people that, and I'm not joking, I don't want to get all quaint,
Yeah.
and Ireland is such a small, you know, but we are a small island, and there is a sense of community at home that's really profound. It's one of the things that I miss most, you know, living in a more individualistic society over
Yeah.
here is the sense of community at home. So yeah, that tickled my heart
awesome.
when I saw that.
Well, congratulations to Ireland and to you as well.
Thanks, man.
But going back to you, you had a busy year after Yang, The Batman, 13 Lives, and Banshees of Inisherin. Are you having the time of your life right now making movies?
Totally,
It
yeah.
looks like it.
Yeah, I feel spoiled rotten. And I mean, I want to say none of it's by design. I don't really, you know, I've been asked through the years various times in interviews, what project do you feel you want to make, or who do you want to work with? And I've never really had an answer to that. I've just, honest to God, trusted in what's been in front of me. Sometimes I've gone to work just for the money. Sometimes I've gone to work, you know, the money has never been bad for me over the last 20 years, but sometimes I've gone to work more because I have a deep passion for the project. And I felt like, yeah, those 4 films you mentioned, I didn't even think that they'd be coming out within the same kind of calendar year.
Yeah.
And they were all so different, you know, the characters were all so different. The filmmakers had such a unique perspective and aesthetic style to their filmmaking, particularly Kogonada.
Yeah.
You know, I love him as a filmmaker. I love how understated he is, how gentle he is as a man and an artist, and that translates into the aesthetic of his film, and also just the emotional and psychological tonality of his films.
Yeah.
Columbus, I thought, was extraordinary.
Yeah.
You know, it really, he's not didactic in any way, you know, and he doesn't try and direct you toward any particular feeling. He gently puts his stories forward, and I found myself leaning into Columbus. So yeah, I've been spoiled rotten, man.
Yeah.
It was a great run.
Also points to the need for a best choreography category.
Oh yeah,
Dance moves in after Yang.
Oh,
Man,
I
slap.
can't remember the choreographer's name now. Shame on me, but she was amazing.
Yeah.
The opening to that film was,
That
it was so
great
cool,
moves, man. Up there with Oscar Isaac and Ex Machina for sure.
Yes. Oh, Ex Machina, what a film that is.
Yeah.
I think Kogonada had said. Actually, I think the choreographer had said that the film, it was like confetti getting popped into the air, and then the rest of the film was the confetti slowly coming down.
Yeah,
which was a lovely kind of
absolutely.
articulation.
Oh, it's awesome. But something we had noticed recently, connected to you and some of your past films, you have made us cry in a lot of movies. Connected to dead animals and pets, like you're connected to these animals in the movies. The Lobster, We Lose a Dog. Spoiler alert, Jenny, in Banshees. You are someone that wears your heart on your sleeve, and we see a lot of that when anyone who's interacted with you over the years. You have a deep love for animals. I can only imagine that's maybe why, because you feel that kinship, but are you a big like dog, cat, animal person?
I have 2 cats. That I love. Brother and sister, Murphy and Mia. I grew up with dogs. I love animals. Yeah, I love animals. Yeah, I do. I adore animals. Yeah. And I love working with them because they're incredibly honest.
Is Jenny a diva now?
Jenny's a tricky one. I hope she's not listening to this. Jenny, I saw a picture of her recently, and she looks like she's living good. She's quite a bit more robust, Rubenesque, shall I say, than I remember her.
Okay.
And she's in a field somewhere, I think in Ireland. She's out to pasture. She's earned her stripes, and she's in an early retirement.
So we shouldn't expect her at the Oscars.
I don't think so. No, that'd be
boo.
amazing, man. Little Dickie Bow.
Yeah. Oh man. It's going back to the Batman, because you're fantastic as Oz / the Penguin.
Thanks.
Unrecognizable. Big announcement coming today. Batman 2.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, have you been asked to be in it?
No,
or
not yet. I mean, I know
knowledge
that the idea. I'm going to do
You're
a
such
show.
a good actor, by the way. I enjoy this. You didn't know anything about Batman 2?
No, nothing.
No, nothing.
Yeah, honest to God, on my life. I know it's happening, and I know that Matt Reeves is deep in writing it. But the only thing I do know, and I would tell you I know something and tell you that I'm not telling you what I know, rather than say I don't.
I enjoy that.
But what the idea of, because I'm going to do this, I think it's going to be a 8-part thing for HBO.
Yeah.
Around Oz's kind of rise into power, filling that power vacuum that was created when Falcone was killed. And Matt's idea originally was to have the Penguin show begin about a week after the end of the Batman film, and then, if it works, if the trajectory is interesting enough, and if the audience go for it and we do our jobs right, have the second film, Penguin feature in the second film, and pick up where the HBO show will end.
Okay.
So I don't know how much he'll be in it. I'd love to be in it. I loved working with Matt. I just think he did such an extraordinary job in that film.
Yeah.
But what did it say today? You tell me the announcement.
Batman 2 coming in 2025. July
2025.
July 2025. Are you available to do the Batman for July 2025?
Bear with me.
Yeah, we're checking the schedule.
March.
March
2025. Outside of that, no. I mean, I'd love to do that. That was a blast.
Yeah,
and I wanted more. I would have loved to have more scenes in the first film. I understood that he wasn't the primary villain, but when I got into the makeup and when I saw the job that Mike Marino had done in designing Oz, because so I, as I said before, I've never been able to declare less ownership for a part I've played than that one.
That's awesome.
Because of what Mike did. I mean, it's at least 50-50.
Have you had conversations with James and Peter over at now the DC studios that's going to be doing, they announced their most of their slate of the upcoming movies and TV shows they'll be working on. Have you had any conversations?
No, none.
And then, so your conversation has been with Matt mostly?
Yeah, and I haven't talked to him about Lauren LaFranc has been writing the Penguin show, and she's going to be the showrunner. And
you're getting ready to shoot soon.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. We start. I think we start on the 27th or 28th of Feb.
Okay.
So it'll be a lot of back and forth with all this madness going
Oscars,
on. Yeah. So
luncheon, go get into Penguin makeup, come back.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, I'll be zipping out of my bodysuit, taking off all Mission Impossible, taking off my head.
How long does it take to get into all that?
Like the first time we did the makeup was 4 hours, and then they got it down to about just sub. I mean, we'd start the clock every day, just sub 2, like 1:59:32 or something like that, which is fine. Clayton, it gives me a chance to learn my lines and get ready for the day, and
just relax.
Might have had a nap or two as well in the chair.
That's good. Yeah. One thing I want to ask you, and never like to get personal, but one thing that I've always loved about you is you're a great dad, and I know that you've been a very a great spoken advocate for kids with special needs. My son has autism.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, he does.
How old is he?
He just turned 8 the other day.
How's he doing?
He's doing great.
How does it present, if I may ask?
Yeah, he like sometimes I'll be honest. Sometimes I think he's punking me. I think he's like,
sure.
Yeah, I think putting this on as an act because I'm
just
like he just says things. I'm like, people shouldn't know that. You
know,
a
child's capabilities are a mystery that we have to be careful trying to unearth, because you just put too much on a child or not enough on a child, and I find it's a tricky one.
But he's verbal, and he is. There's a lot of things that I'm sure
social cues are tricky for him.
Social cues are a little tricky, but he's super personable, super friendly. He'll go up to you and talk. He's
lovely.
He's the best. I
look, man, we're all fucked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When I say fucked, I'm not saying your son's fucked. I'm saying we've all got issues. I mean, human beings are on the spectrum. Human beings are on the spectrum. We're all, the spectrum of humanity is a obviously multifaceted and very complex spectrum. So some are more so on spectrums than others, of course, and there are clinical diagnoses for some things, but there should be a clinical diagnosis for the condition of being human. My son James is amazing. He's 19 now. He's an extraordinary young man, and he's had more challenges straight out of the gate than most of us. And he's incredibly brave. He's an absolute inspiration to me.
Yeah, that's awesome. My question for you is, and I think this has always been what I would love to see, is just more awareness on people with disabilities, because when you have children, like you love them, I always think about the future. What happens when he's 19, when he's out in the world?
Yeah.
What is something that you would love to see, like, the world adopt? I mean, is it just basic knowledge of
I think it's just, I think human beings are at our best when we're curious about others, you know?
Yeah.
And curious about ourselves, not to the degree of self-obsession, but, you know, when we question or we wonder why we are the way we are as individuals in the first person, why I am the way I am, why I feel the way I feel, why I respond the way I respond, I think there's incredible power in the vein of liberation in that. And so I think to extend that curiosity to the greater environment and to the world in general, to our immediate environment, I think that's when we're at our best. I think when we're really trying to understand each other and when we're curious about the other and not fearful of the other. And so with that in mind, I think what you just said about people knowing more, learning more. And of course, then there is the social pragmatics of interaction, real world interaction, the workplace, finding jobs, education, for those who are differently abled is huge and really important. And I'm a supporter of the Special Olympics. You know about the Special Olympics? I mean, the work that the Special Olympics does as an organization globally is extraordinary. And obviously, you know, at the core of the Special Olympics is the need and the importance of absolute inclusion, you know. So the energy around this Special Olympics is an energy that I wish was more prevalent in the world, because it's funny, I don't know, like, what should I talk about it? Obviously we're at our best as human beings, I say, when we're curious, but we're at our best when we're considerate. And curiosity holds within it the nature of consideration. If you're curious about something, you're considering that thing. So that's what I mean by curiosity. Not to even create more otherness or not to objectify, but the kind of curiosity that means you're considering really from your heart another person and who they are and what they're capable of and their joys and their sadnesses and their trials and tribulations. And so the energy, you know, I've been to 3 Special Olympics ceremonies, opening ceremonies, and been there for the games. One was Beijing, Dublin, Ireland, and then when it was on here as well. And the energy of inclusion is just extraordinary. So that would be my dream for a world, that we ever inch more toward existing in that space.
Thank you very much for saying that.
Of course, brother. Of course, brother.
I have 2 last things. One is going to be asking you to dig down deep inside to say some nice things about Martin McDonagh and Brendan Gleeson, especially, because
might be a bit tired of that,
I know,
playing that record.
I know
that vinyl is scratched at this stage.
Martin McDonagh, 3rd movie with him, 7 Psychopaths in Bruges, correct? And then now Banshees.
Yeah.
Brendan Gleeson, this your buddy comedy that who would have thunk that you guys would just make magic together consistently. I just need this every few years. But sometimes the love is so deep you can do anything together. And there's a definite special friendship between you and Martin and Brendan. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, I knew we're 3 very different fellas. I say, well, what do I mean? We just, you know, we present very different. We've got different perspectives on life and all, but there's some kind of deep commonality there. And I don't know what it is. I don't know how to quantify it or articulate it, but there's a deep commonality there that means that, you know, it's not like as a result of In Bruges, was there a shorthand on 7 Psychopaths between me and Martin, or because of In Bruges, was there a shorthand between me and Brendan on 7 Psychopaths? The shorthand was there from day one. You know, we didn't really grow into it. Yeah, we're more familiar with each other and stuff, and maybe a little bit more comfortable with each other based on a shared history. But the shorthand was always there, and it's just a joy working with the 2 of them. You know, honest to God, there's no bullshit. I mean, we have a good laugh together. We all take the work very, very serious, as in we apply ourselves as much as we can, and we're asking questions, and Brendan's always digging. Martin is an extraordinary writer, and he's capable of creating these, you know, at turns hilarious and humane, and then macabre and brutal and cruel but kind worlds, and lulls you into a sense of security with the comedic aspect, and then he hits you over the head with some kind of hard-boiled truths as well. And I just love his writing. I saw Six Shooter was the first thing of Martin's that I'd ever seen, the short film that won the best short at the Oscars that year, and Brendan was in that. And they're just, I mean, I'd love to not wait 14 years again to work with Brendan, you know.
I mean, if they're watching, get on it.
Yeah, get on it, lads. Get the quill out, Martin.
That's Colin Farrell, Oscar nominee for the film The Banshees of Inisherin. Distributed by Searchlight Pictures, the film is also streaming now on HBO Max.